seconds.
All right, I think we're ready to start. All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay as we worked out some technical issues. Welcome to the first concurrent session this morning, session A. We're going to have Jennifer Dill presenting. She'll be talking about data governance and discovery, a program to empower you. We'll have time for questions at the end, and we'll be doing questions online as well. For those of you who are attending virtually, we have a remote moderator to help prepare those questions.
Okay. All right, good morning. Thank you for a little applause. Just you have that technical delay and your nerves get even higher. So thank you for that. So I do want to say, similar to what Michael did, good morning and welcome to Data Days 23. And it's our second annual, and this is one of my favorite events. So I was new last year to Georgia Tech, and so for the first time, for the first conference last year, it was exciting, but now to see it second annual, and it's grown so much already. So I'm very, very proud of Data Days. I do want to say thank you to Dr. Bolton for kicking us off, and a big shout out to Dr. Parnell for joining us as our keynote speaker. I was on the content planning committee, and so I've heard about Dr. Parnell for months, and so I was very happy to see her, actually hear her presentation. So welcome to our data governance session. Our theme today, day one for Data Days is Get Empowered, and so that is what we want to do. Data Governance Discovery wants to empower you. I am Jennifer Dill. My teammate, David Mack, is here. And then Zach Hayes is also on our team, and he's running around with the conference as he is the co-chair. So I'm super proud of Zach as well. Right. I did bring water if I might have to sip. I apologize for that. So let's talk about why we are here today. Data governance and discovery can enhance your data's potential. We are a program to support your efforts to maximize the value of data. Diving deeper into data assets allows us to understand the characteristics of these assets and gain insight into the extensive data landscape here at Georgia Tech. Data governance empowers you, the data user, to harness the full potential of data while maintaining compliance and data security. We're here to help guide you, and we want to share with you what we know, what we're learning, and best practices to create, maintain, use your data. We'll start big. We'll look at data at the enterprise level. It takes a tremendous amount of data to support our institute's mission. Then we'll move into who we are, who is data governance and discovery, and our supporting role. Then next, onto the data itself. How do we manage this vast landscape of so much data? Where do you turn if you have questions? Then we'll break it down into our data governance and discovery components. What are these efforts and why are they important for you? And then I'll wrap it all up and point you to resources that will support you. You'll find that this is going to be a lot of information, and so I've packaged it up, the resources and the links for you at the end. And even Darren started us off too, I guess, today, talking about being empowered, learning these resources, learning these links. And so I'll have quite a few for you today. Georgia Tech's mission, the Institute relies upon a tremendous amount of data. The core of our data framework is that we have hundreds of business applications distributed across campus that support the enterprise. We are decentralized with our technology, data that the applications create, and the business processes around the data and technology. But throughout the organization, the data, technology, and business processes converge to provide an opportunity and collaboration to create, maintain, and use this data. Speaking of collaboration, there are many groups, programs, and partners who support this core framework. These groups partner behind the scenes to keep the data protected and ensure that it's easy to use. For example, cybersecurity and privacy create guardrails to keep our data secure and private, while identity and access management provide tools to access information. Data services presents the data in various forms, such as reports, dashboards, to make the data easier to digest and inform. Data governance and discovery is one of those supporting groups, one of those partners. And we exist to maximize the value of data for data users by providing structure through committees, roles, and policies. And then we support with data management, which is shaping and supporting data technology and business processes. So here's the same core framework where you see the data technology and business processes converge, but then now we're bringing in the governance structure and the data management around that. So the next two slides, I'll look at the structure, committees, roles, and policies a little bit further. And then the next slide will be data management a little bit further. Governance structure is established through committees, roles, and policies. Committees provide guidance, oversight, and prioritization of data-related efforts and have representation from all levels of the organization that cross both data and technology and other areas of subject matter expertise. For example, we have the Data Governance Committee, whose mission is to ensure the Institute's administrative data assets are managed and utilized to their fullest extent. We also have the Data Domain and Technology subcommittees, who are responsible for the collective decision-making concerning substantive changes to organizational data and underlying technology with the data domain. Roles are established to assign accountability, distribute responsibility, and create escalation paths. We have data roles where we start at the top with our data owner. That's our president of the university. We have one data owner, and then we go into the different levels. Just because I have one box doesn't mean there's just one person. It's just representing the levels as we go down. We've got data trustee, associate data trustee, data steward, associate data steward, and down. The data roles are a hierarchical level, and they do align with their level of responsibility. We also have tech roles. These are IT folks with specific duties, such as the application owner, the technical manager, and the data administrator. Okay, I apologize for that. It's not showing properly. That's fine. It's the links, I think, turn blue instead of the color. All right, policies create the foundation for requirements and leading practices for how to handle and use the data and its supporting technologies. These policies guide the creation of standards and drive many of our internal procedures. Georgia Tech's policies are rooted in the University System of Georgia requirements. USG's Business Process Manual, Procedures Manual, provides the data governance infrastructure and management practices that we must have in place to ensure data security, effective use, and compliance. I apologize for the coloring. The data management piece of us. Data management practices include the discovery of our digital assets, defining and characterizing those assets appropriately. We need to know what data we have, where the data is located, what applications hold the data, and understand why we're using the data. Some of you may recall getting a call last year from a data governance analyst asking you these questions about your data asset. Knowledge, training, and support ensure that each role, whether a data user or named role within the data ecosystem, has the information, tools, and help needed to be successful in proper data management. We, the data governance team, we are writing and publishing knowledge articles on ServiceNow available for all data users. And we have 2 named role trainings in the queue. Some of you might be hearing about that. right now. We've talked all about data, a tremendous amount of data, so much data. What do we do with this? We talked all about this vast landscape on Georgia Tech. How do we manage all this data? Well, we break it down into manageable pieces. Data domains and subdomains are like buckets. Domains are logical groupings of data that begin to create a common language for types of organizational data. Subdomains continue the logical grouping of data for more granularity. The foundation for a responsibility structure forms with the data trustee responsible for the domain, and the data steward has day-to-day responsibility for the subdomains. So looking at my examples, I put 3 up here, but I'll just look at student. Student data, across the top, student would be the domain, and that's your data trustee. And then the subdomains would be your data stewards. After I did this, I realized not the best visual because this looks like they're all set up this way. You know, 1 domain, 3 subdomains. It's not always that ratio. So please don't think that. I just wanted to show the domain and then the buckets in between for the data stewards. How do you, the data steward or the associate data steward will probably be the best resource if you have questions about your data. But how do you know who your data steward is? We have a guide to data domains published on ServiceNow, which has a link to our data domain registry. We've got it all listed out for you. You can find the link, also find the link on our website. So again, all these things I've talked about published for you, I will provide for you at the end. Data domains illustrate how data governance supports you. This is important because the structure provides a framework for better understanding and managing the data here at in blue that you can't see. That's our data domain registry. So sorry, it'll be at the end. This is important structure, provides a framework for better understanding and managing the data here at Georgia Tech. This framework helps to improve data quality, ensure compliance, aid in decision-making, connect data to the people. For example, a potential situation might be if a data user has a question about a term being used on a report, who can provide them with answers? For the next few minutes, we'll look at data governance and discovery components. This is what we do and why and how it provides a better data service to you. We're creating a knowledge base with articles and guides and training modules, including all these topics. Diving deeper into the application and data allows us to understand the characteristics of these assets, which helps drive their use, management, and protection. So data asset inventory. That is an inventory of our applications, data warehouses, and databases, which contain organizational data. We need to know what applications and other data assets we have on campus. Last year, our analysts went out on campus virtually and collected this information. The name of the application, a description, mission critical or not, application owner, technical manager, and more. And now we have a published data asset inventory that can be found on our website. Again, another published. So we're proud of all of this information we're getting out there. We just need to let you know what's out there to help you. Data access. Data access is restricted authorization to use data based on the data user's role and requirements of their daily task. It is essential that access to and use of organizational data is properly secured. We have published a guide to data access procedures on ServiceNow, as well as the link on our website. Again, another guide to help you with data access procedures. Separation of duties means that responsibilities for tasks are divided among different individuals to reduce risk of error or inappropriate action. One party begins a task while another completes it so that checks and balances exist on the work of all the employees involved. Data quality refers to the rules that improve trustworthiness of data. It includes uniqueness, completeness, consistency, reliability, timeliness of data. It is a measure of how well data can be trusted to support business processes and decision-making. Data quality is important to support effective decision-making, comply with regulations, protect Georgia Tech's reputation, operate efficiently, and promote student success. Next, we have training. As mentioned, we are creating knowledge base for all our data users and creating training modules for named roles. This is an important component of data governance because we want data users to understand the policies, data, technology, and best practices. Data stewards and/or technical managers may require specific trainings on their particular data before granting access to the user. We have data categorizations. Data categorizations provide a common way to identify, describe, and understand how best to handle and protect data assets, which is important to help us communicate aspects about the data in collective ways. We have data protection, which consists of protected or public information. Public information is targeted for public use, such as a website or a press release for general viewing. Protected data is the default categorization and covers the data not created for public. Data regulation indicates which, if any, local, state, federal, global regulations impact your data. So, for example, FERPA, HIPAA. We also have sensitive data. This is defined as a list of data elements or combinations of data elements approved by the Data Governance Committee, which require heightened attention and detail handling and data handling and require additional controls. Some of these examples would be names, social security, health conditions. Cybersecurity has established security controls and handling practices for institutional technology and data, which are often driven by how data is categorized. Data availability is the process of ensuring that organizational data and applications are available and accessible to end users when and where they need it. This also includes information for data users if they discover their data is not available. Data Dictionary is a centralized resource that contains a comprehensive list of all data elements along with their attributes. Glossary is a comprehensive, standardized, controlled vocabulary of business terms and concepts. Building a glossary is important for several reasons. For example, ensuring consistency, which increases clarity in communication and improves data quality when consistently defined. We also have a published, that's on my list of resources, we do have a published glossary as well. Data lineage documents the life cycle of data. We document the process of understanding, recording, and visualizing data as it flows from data sources to consumption. This includes all transformations that the data underwent along the way, how the data was transformed, what changed, and why. Right. Monitor and audit efforts are woven throughout these previous governance topics I just went through. So the 10 I just talked about is going to have monitoring and audit woven in. Monitoring is activities involving reviewing and analyzing business processes and procedures, ensuring that policies are being adhered to. And findings need to be documented. It also involves making sure that appropriate resources are being assigned to monitor the business processes. Documenting the results of monitoring activities is required and will become artifacts if called upon during internal or external audit. Auditing refers to assessment and evaluation of an organization's data use, management, policies, procedures, and business processes against recognized standards or established policies. Audits evaluate if the controls to protect the data and data assets ensure integrity and are aligned with organizational goals and objectives. Auditing may be performed by an internal group, such as data governance and discovery team, internal auditing, or by external groups such as USG, State of Georgia, and federal auditors. All aspects of data governance and management are subject to internal and external audits and will be called upon to produce documentation as required. In discovering our assets, we as an institute are better positioned to use this data in more strategic and meaningful ways that add value to the functions and services that we support in our overall mission. In conclusion, data governance and discovery supports your data efforts. We empower the data users, whether it's faculty, administrators, researchers, students, to leverage data effectively for the betterment of the institution. We can help you find the right contacts for your data needs. We are here to guide you in the understanding of data assets by shaping and supporting data, technology, and business processes through published guides, trainings, inventories, with more to come. We've got a good start getting information out there, and more to come. This understanding drives the use, value, management, and protection of your data. The takeaway from today, I hope, is that you know there are resources to help you with your data needs, from effective use to protection to being in compliance. You can find information on ServiceNow, or contact us or your data steward. And again, the last slide I packaged up for you will be the page of resources and links. And next it says announcement. I'm excited, but I can't even tell you. All I can say is that we have a brand new data governance, data management tool that helps us manage everything I just went through, all those 10, 11, 12 topics. We have one tool, one platform for that, and it's brand new. We just got it. We have not launched yet. So please visit us at 2:45 today, and David Mack will give us a sneak peek at how that works. All right, any questions for myself and David? David's here to help with that too. Right, you can still be thinking of questions, but I'm going to show this slide just so so you know what's here. You're welcome to screenshot it, or when these presentations get downloaded, you can get them from there. But also questions, if you think of something.
So are y'all cataloging all the reports on campus? Or just data?
I don't know if I need to be up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
For monitoring. So no, we're not in the business of doing that. We are in the business of cataloging where that data, where the report is pulling from, is coming, but that would be a separate effort by Andre's team, and then that would be building up those reports.
Right, now we work with them, like, for example, on the data access, we brought in the HR and their data, and then we brought in the reporting team, and then created a report so that we could, one of our requirements was like removing access 5 days after termination. And so, but some units are so large, they're like, that we don't know, and keeping count and all that. So we don't actually do that, but we bring people together and had those reports created. So they're on live right now. But we don't track it or anything.
Follow-up question.
Okay.
You catalog like a lot of the data sources, tables, data warehouse.
Yes.
Could you repeat the question, please? Mike?
Yeah, there was a question about us and if we catalog things like data sources, databases, data schemas. A little kind of sneak peek of my talk this afternoon. Yeah, we are doing that, right? So one of the things that we want to do is know where that data is. And part of our work is getting to that data level, to that schema level, and helping to identify where those are. So we wouldn't be like the authoritative source of like what schema is where and what table contains that. We're more in we want to identify, say, where a social security number is held and what database that is in. So yes, we are going down to that level, but again, we're more of a bolt on and assisting the data warehouse team and their efforts with that.
David, Jennifer, thanks. Kind of related to that, pension data dictionary, is there a database or repository like ServiceNow or another tool or a data dictionary?
Yep.
Just curious.
We're working on that. So sorry, I speak really loud for everybody to hear. The question was about do we have a data dictionary? So we have one in the works, actually. So we are working with that, and we will be using OneTrust as our source for that. It's on the
That's true. It's on the name.
the marquee, and they of course have sponsored some of this too. So
That's surprising.
that's a surprise.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are working to build that, and kind of tying back into what she's gone over, building in that stewardship on top of that too. So, what Dawn says a student is may not be what, you say a student is, but so we want to identify what that central source of truth is and pull that in. So,
Great.
yeah. Which will speak to also to those reports. We're not cataloging, but if you pull up a report and it says a currently enrolled student, right? What does that mean? That could mean 10 different things depending. So we aim to help assist with that and be that source of truth for those definitions.
This is kind of an amorphous brief question. You guys are data arbiters, and like you were told that you report the data to iPads and USG. You guys do the data reports.
We do not.
Yeah, we don't do the reporting. We report on certain aspects of the data. So we don't hold the data. But part of our requirements to the USG system is reporting. And I didn't repeat the question. The question was asking about housing. Who holds the data? Basically, do we? We don't hold it, but we need to know who does, the names, right? So we want to make sure that we don't have some closet that's hidden somewhere here on the field that's got the student's personal information, right? So that's what we're in the business of, is finding where that is. So we help identify that, and then part of our reporting requirements is to report that out to the USG, right? So they want to know things like what types of data, right? So personal identifiable information. And then on top of that, why do we have it, right? So it's okay to have that stuff, but we need to be doing it for a specific purpose, like administration or course registration or something like that. That's a legitimate business purpose. Good question. Yeah, good question.
And I'm going to do one last slide that hopefully you'll see through all your sessions to share your feedback. And I, not so much because this was our session, but just helping on the day-to-day committees, we appreciate any and all feedback. So please do that over the next 3 days. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.